everyone, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be checking out Novaflare Welt. Welt is going to be getting some awesome buffs in version 4.2, so we're going to be taking a look at these buffs today, and I'm also going to be using Welt with one of my favorite DPSs, being Acheron. Before we get into today's video, I'd love to know who you are the most excited for in version 4.2 when it comes to new characters and the Novaflares. And lastly, if you'd like to see some more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. For today's showcase, we're going to be using Welt, Heng, Cipher, and then Acheron. And in this slot of Cipher, if you'd like, you can use an alternative character. But I'm really excited to test out Welt here with his new Novaflare buffs. And right off the bat, we're going to deal damage to the enemy in the middle to reduce their war armor. And with Welt here, I'm actually going to attack the enemy to the right, use his ultimate now so we can hit the enemy in the middle, break that war armor, and also get more energy for Welt as a result. Now with Acheron here, we're just gonna get straight into using our ultimate, and boom. Not too much damage right off the bat, but we will be able to deal more damage later on. And now Soul Dragon will come in. We have also inflicted weightless onto these enemies, which this is thanks to Welt's Novaflare buffs from his ultimate, and this will decrease all enemies' defenses by 40% and also decrease their speed as we are hitting these enemies here. With Heng, we can basic once again. Welt, we will just skill to get him even more energy, and us getting hit here is actually perfect for Welt, as we will be able to get his ultimate momentarily. Now with Welt, I'm immediately just going to use the ultimate here. He's going to advance himself forward, and boop, there we go. With Acheron, I also have her ultimate. And now with Welt here, what I'm going to do is just use his skill, and we will follow up with the Acheron ultimate. I was able to break some of these enemies' war armor with Welt, resulting in some more energy. Also 1.4 million damage right there from Acheron. And now with Cipher here, we can basic attack, and with Heng, I will skill to give him more energy. As for Welt, I will also skill. Now we have his ultimate ready to go. I'm actually going to save this ultimate for the next wave with Nikador. We're just going to be reducing this enemy's HP as much as we can, and we will be able to use Cipher's ultimate here to finish off this enemy. And boom, there we go. We are going to be able to build up a nice amount of coins going into Nikador here. This is perfectly fine for Cipher. Immediately, we're going to use that Welt ultimate. There we go. 4 out of 7 war armor points right there. And with Acheron, we can further reduce this. I want to line this up so Welt actually gets the extra energy here. There we go. From breaking the war armor. Cipher, we could just basic. With Heng, I will skill once again, getting him some more energy. And with Acheron, we can skill as well. All right, Soul Dragon's going to come in. Now it's time for the Welt skill again, getting some more energy. And I'm going to wait for Nikador to summon the spears before I use Welt's ultimate. I want to use Welt's ultimate when the spears show up, just so I can inflict that weightless debuff onto all the spears, which will be that defense reduction. And boom, there we go. Now with Acheron, we can get straight into using her ultimate, deal a nice amount of damage right here. Well, bam, 1.5 million from Acheron, and we can just skill once again. Welt can just use his skill. With Cipher, we will just basic attack onto Nikador, and with Heng, what I will do with him is use his ultimate. There we go. Now Cipher will come in with the follow-up. Boom, there we go. Now with Heng, I will basic. Soul Dragon will come in. Nikador is getting pretty low on HP, especially with these spears. So I'm actually going to attack some of these spears here with Welt. There we go. 9% on Nikador. Let's actually see. Let's do a basic attack with Cipher. Reduce that spear even further. And we just need to kill one of these spears here. And boom, there we go. Perfect. So now Nikador is on the next HP bar, and we still have our ultimate with Acheron. Alright, in a moment here, I'm going to inflict that defense reduction once again with Welt. We're inflicting the weightless state onto the spears. So this is going to help out Acheron for being able to deal more damage onto them. And we're also going to be reducing Nikador's war armor while we're at it. Alright, Soul Dragon time. Turbulence will come in, and we should be able to clear within the cycle here. And of course, every character on this showcase is also E0. And now with Acheron here, we will skill. Boom, there we go. Cipher follow-up. Now with Heng, we can just use the ultimate. There we go. With Welt, I'm just going to basic attack, as I will be able to get enough energy with the basic. Use the ultimate once again. We were able to deal some more damage to the spears. So now Acheron's going to come in. Boom! 8 million damage right there. Oh my gosh. And now if we take a look at Nikador, we have that weightless state and we have all of these defense reduction debuffs. Cipher is going to be able to finish off this fight with the coins that she has accumulated. And boom, there we go. We were able to get a 3-cycle clear with Acheron, and also once again every character is E0. And now let's check out the builds for today's video. Here are the builds for today's video, starting off here with Acheron. She does have her signature light cone. Trace is maxed out. For her relics, we're using Isamo and then Genius of Brilliant Stars. So when it comes to using Genius of Brilliant Stars, if we take a quick look, Nikador as well as the spears are weak to quantum, so we can actually take advantage of this, as well as taking advantage of the defense reduction from our other characters on the team. This could actually be a pretty decent option for her, but of course, if you'd like, you can still use a set like Pioneer. We also have, of course, Isamo. We're gonna get some more crit rate, and we also will get more attack as well. And this Acheron is E0. If we did have a bit more Eidolons, maybe an E2, we probably could have gotten, honestly, that 2-cycle clear, but I did want to keep everyone E0 for today. Here we have Don Heng. We do have a signature Lycon, but you can consider using On the Fall of an Aeon if you do not have many options for him. For his traces, they're maxed out. For the relics, we're using Lushaka and Self-Enshrouded, so the Lushaka buff will be going to Acheron, and for his Eidolons, he is also E0. And now we have Welt, which Welt did get a nice amount of changes, which I'll be going over this in a moment. And here is our build. We're actually using Tutorial. We have multiple characters that can reduce the enemy's defenses, but so can Welt. This can actually result in us getting more energy for him and being able to use his ultimate more frequently. Trace is maxed out. For the relics, we're using Lushaka and Eagle of Twilight Line. Now, in the case of using Eagle, you can absolutely use a different relic set on him. The reason I'm using Eagle though is due to how frequently he can get his ultimate, especially during this showcase. We were able to use his ultimate often, which resulted in us being able to advance him forward and he'd be able to attack enemies more frequently. This helped out with being able to reduce the war armor on Nikador as well. And when it comes to Eidolons, he is E0. If we had more of these Eidolons though, or if let's say I did activate them, I definitely think we could have gotten that 2-cycle clear potentially, especially with E4 Welt. E4 is a pretty nice buff right here. Enemy targets in the weightless state will have their ult type res reduced by 30%, which Welt's ultimate here is going to be able to inflict weightless on all enemies, and when enemies in weightless are attacked, their action will be delayed by 4%. This can trigger up to 8 times per target per turn, and weightless will last for 2 turns. And his talent will also add that when enemy targets have the weightless state, their defense will be reduced by 40%. So on top of this now, if we were to have E4, we would now also have the ult type res pen as well. And another bonus for the weightless state is that when allies attack enemies under this state, their damage dealt will increase by 10%, and this effect can stack up to 10 times and last for 2 turns. Also, Welt will regenerate 30 energy at the beginning of combat, which is great for being able to get his ultimate very quickly into the fight. As for the rest of his changes, for his skill, now his skill will be able to deal 4 instances of damage instead of 2 extra times. As for Welt's bonus ability Judgment, this is completely changed to where when Welt uses his basic attack or skill, we will deal 1 extra instance of additional damage to an enemy, and the additional damage dealt when using a basic attack will be 80% of the basic attack multiplier, while for the skill it will be 120% of the skill damage multiplier. Now we have Punishment. This also got changed, and it mentions when Welt's effect hit rate is greater than 40%, for every 10% that exceeds its value, increase attack by 20% up to a max of 80%. And when we use the ultimate, we'll regenerate an additional 5 energy, so Welt will be able to use his ultimate pretty often throughout a fight. And for this trace in particular, to maximize it, you would want 80% effect hit rate. Now for his Eidolon changes, his E1, E4, and E6 got some changes. As for E1, when he uses his skill or ultimate to hit a target in the weightless state, we will deal 1 additional instance of imaginary damage equal to 40% of the ultimate damage multiplier. This can only be triggered once per target per attack. E4 is the ult type res of enemies decreasing, which is awesome. Definitely a very nice amp for the team to nicely take advantage of. And then as for E6, when he uses his skill or ultimate to hit an enemy target in the slow state, it'll increase Welt's crit rate by 30% and crit damage by 60%. This is pretty useful if you're looking to maybe make a fun team of main DPS Welt, as he will be able to get a nice 30% crit rate boost, and then also a 60% crit damage boost. Lastly, we have Cipher for today, which if you would like, you can absolutely use a different Nihility character in the last slot, or you can also use a Harmony character. For example, a character like Sparkle can be an option. You can even consider a character like Tribby and so on. We are using her signature light cone. Trace is maxed out. For the relics, we're just using Lushaka and Pioneer of Dead Waters, which you can use a different 4-piece set if you would like. For example, 2-piece speed, or even a 4 set that has speed, whatever it may be. Lushaka buff once again going to Acheron, and for the Eidolon, she is also E0. These Lushaka buffs are pretty useful as this will give Acheron some more attack, as we actually are running Speed Boots Acheron for today just so she can get 2 turns within the first cycle, so that she is able to use her skill twice and get more /dream stacks, so that she is able to use her ultimate a bit more frequently throughout the showcase. And overall, I'm a pretty big fan of Welt's buffs. It definitely makes him an even stronger option to consider using either for your sustainless teams, as he will be able to delay enemies, inflict a defense reduction onto them, and if you have E4, now you have the old type res as well, and then of course he has additional benefits on top of that, and even at E0 he can still be a decent option to consider using. I'm really happy that he did get these buffs though, as this does show us that they are willing to buff standard characters. Personally, I would love a Himiko Novaflare. I think it'd be really cool to get maybe even a Baranya Novaflare, whatever it may be. I think it'd be cool if we eventually get Novaflares of all the standard characters. I feel like that'd be really nice, but it's really cool to see what they ended up doing with Welt here. Lastly, let me know which character you would like to get a Novaflare, and if you enjoyed today's video, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.